Kings and Queens, Your Majesties, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for returning. Trust you and yours are well and you're loving yourself and others like always. Many thanks to all of you for the support to give to the channel. Thank you so much to our channel members, to our anonymous supporters, to all of you, my esteemed subscribers. You love, celebrated, and of course appreciated. Do well by hitting the subscribe button to be part of this family. Leave your comments there at the section and give this video a thumbs up. Share to your friends and family. Africa do not need democracy. Africa need dictators. And not just dictators. Africa need military dictators. Africa do not just need dictators, but Africa need military dictators. These are the words of our able Bishop Maponga. And I want to leave you to him. You listen to why he is making the decision that he is making. This is not the first time that Maponga is saying that Africa need dictators and not democratic leaders. And it's coming at the time where we have people, prominent people who believe that democracy will destroy, they believe that military leadership will destroy Africa. When I say prominent people, I mean people who are educated, who have the age, who have seen the world to a particular years, for a particular time rather, and they still believe that military leadership is not for the continent. And we have the bishop who always say that democracy is for the destruction of the motherland. Now, we see how the Sahel leaders took over power. Of course, they took over power by force. Nobody elected them. They are military leaders. And we have seen for these few years what military leadership of the Sahel can do to the development of Africa. We saw how military leadership has helped the Sahel to gradually come out of that particular, room that they have caged her for all these years, claiming that she was so poor and wretched. We've seen that the Sahel have a lot of potentials. And we have also, the Sahel leadership had exposed the hypocrisy of democracy. We are beginning to see that you don't need 10 years, 4 years, 8 years, 12 years to execute plans of yours if you really love your people. Okay? We have also seen that we've seen how for these few years the lies of international communities was also exposed to us, that the Sahel is never poor. The Sahel is so rich. And we have also seen that it is the wealth of the Sahel that the developed countries have been using all this while to develop themselves. We have also seen through this military leadership that the world can never survive without Africa, because it is while these leaders came to power, we saw that Africans can tell the world to let them be, but the world will never let Africa be. The world wants to love Africa by force. We saw the case of France and the Sahel, the relationship between the French government and Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali, and also other powers that were kicked out of the Sahel. So I'm just giving you a backstory of the whole thing between military leadership and democratic leadership. And when you talk about military leadership, again, we saw that we have seen with this very leadership that military leadership can be good for Africa. Back in the days, in the early 50s and 60s, we saw how coups was happening, and maybe early 70s, how coup was happening. And those coups were backed by Europe and America. That is why all those military leadership or military regimes was never an easy one. For those of you who might have experienced these regimes and believe that military leadership is not for Africa, it is because those leaders were puppets, even to the West. You think that these people just took over power. No, they had somebody who is telling them what to do. In those days, if these Europeans want really to take over, they use the military to take over power by force and control the military. This was what was happening. That was why military leadership was not favoring Africans decades ago. Okay? This was the reason why it was not favoring Africans. But this very military leadership in the Sahel was orchestrated by Africans who really want a turnaround. And that is why we are seeing the change. So this is the difference. The difference between this leadership, military leadership of today, and the military leadership of decades ago. I hope we now understand better. So let's listen to our able Bishop Maponga, and we'll take it up from there, Your Majesties.
So what is your take about Ibrahim Traore?
He has become a model. And I said it once, I'll say it again, even on your platform. Africa does not need democracy.
What do we need?
It's a smokescreen of of lies, which allows imperialism and neocolonialism to continue. Africa needs dictators. Africa needs military dictators.
Military, not just any other dictator.
Military for security. Dictators in that they must dictate the right thing. We need people that are purposeful, cutting down the bureaucracy of democracy and getting things done. If you walk up into your parliament right now, you'll have papers the size of this room of good ideas that have never been implemented, roads that have never been finished, buildings and hospitals that have not been repaired, but budget approved and voted. It's in the pipeline. It's in the pipeline. And in the midst of that pipeline, procurement, corruption, and preferential procurement, looting and stealing is happening. How does a minister walks into a government with 50,000 shillings become a millionaire in 2 years with a salary that can't afford 3 pairs of shoes? Where does he get the money from?
When Maponga says Africa does not need democracy, he is not glorifying tyranny, he is exposing the scam. Democracy in Africa is nothing but a smokescreen, a theater stage where imperialism hides behind ballot boxes. Every 5 years, we vote, we dance, we sing. Then the same thieves return to parliament to loot under the cover of procedure. Look at Ibrahim Traoré in Burkina Faso. He has become a model because he does not waste time with the bureaucracy of fake democracy. He dictates, but he dictates the right thing. Security, sovereignty, dignity. He is cutting the fat, not feeding on it. That is what Africa needs: leaders who are soldiers of purpose, not politicians of excuses. Democracy here has produced nothing but pipelines full of dust, budgets approved, hospitals never built, roads never finished. Ministers enter office with nothing and leave millionaires. Where does the money come from? From the pipeline of corruption, procurement cartels, and imperialist puppetry. Africa needs military men and women with conscience, dictators of order, of progress, of sovereignty. Not the ballot box charade, not the illusion of choice. Purposeful dictatorship is the antidote to Africa's paralysis.
Africa needs military men and women with conscience. And that is what we have going on in the Sahel. Military men with conscience. That is the difference. And other parts of the continent, we have democratic leaders without conscience. Their conscience have been dead long ago. Some of them, their consciences were even dead before they came to power. They deceived you with all the beautiful words. Oh, when I get to power, this is what I do. And then when they are being sworn in, they swear with the Bible or the Quran, and some of you think that those things that they are holding in their hand is really going to hold them to book. They know that those Bible and the Quran they are holding, nothing will happen to them. If you tell them to go and swear in a shrine, they will not go, because they know that if they do that, that thing will follow them. If they don't do what they need to do, whatever it is that they have sworn with in that shrine will come after them. They wouldn't do those. They tell, by that time they know that they are Christian or they are Muslim. They run to either of this religion because they are aware that nothing will happen to them.
I think yesterday I was citing an example of 3 people in a room. By the following morning, one was dead. And the other 2 who were alive were arrested and taken to court. And as they were asking them, or as the proceedings were going on, the case was beginning to find one of them guilty. And they were going to make a pronouncement on him. You know what he asked? The one who's alive, he and I, we come from the same village. We've sworn on the Bible, sworn on the Quran, sworn on the sword, and yet I'm the one being found guilty. Please, I beg the judge, etc., take us to the village we come from. We have a shrine over there, and let us go and swear on that shrine and see whether I am innocent or he is the culprit. Whether I'm the murderer or he is the culprit. That's all the question I asked these Catholic priests. They could not answer me. Because they know you're not going to swallow any poison, but they know that we don't fear that Bible, we don't fear that Quran, but when it comes to our shrine, that one we dare not joke with it, we'll go and tell the truth. The white man who brought the Bible into my country, your continent, the Muslim who brought whatever it is, he is the same person who has gone and invented the lie detector test, the chemical interrogation test. I would dare you to go and line up some of your finest policemen, some of your finest heads, some of your finest, what you call it, judges. Make any allegations against me, you included. Whatever questions you want to ask, take me through a chemical interrogation. I will be the one who will pass. I wonder how many of you will pass. You know something, Chief? If we can learn to be bold enough to restore the value of truth in our society, then we will have justice. Without truth, we cannot get justice. We cannot get justice. And that's why we're suffering. Truth is so important. Do you know what Gandhi said? I don't need Gandhi to tell it to me. Gandhi said he was looking for truth in God, only to discover that God was in truth. How beautiful. How beautiful. You know? So, Chief, when it comes to accusing me, don't forget, 8 generals, 3 former heads of state, painfully executed. I, Rollins, will not turn around and commit the very crimes for which another man lost his life.
Some of them, long before they became elected, their consciences were dead. They were only deceiving the masses so that they can get that power. Your Majesties, it is unfortunate. Democracy in Africa is gone long ago. It's not just today. It has in trouble. Before it came to Africa, it was finished. And those who initiated this whole idea of democratic leadership, are they even democratic themselves? Because these leaders are learning from them. These leaders are puppets to them. Or you said I shouldn't call them leaders. They are learning from them. They are puppets to them. They are doing according to their bidding. They're just doing whatever they ask them to do. This is exactly what is going on. Your Majesties, it is unfortunate that we have the situations we have going on right now in the continent of Africa. And that is why I always tell you that I love whatever Maponga said, because he always sit down, analyze it critically before he opens his mouth to say that. He knows that democracy has never taken Africa anywhere. It's not going to take Africa anywhere. Africa needs military leadership, dictators with a conscience, military for protection. He has said that clearly to us. If we really want to survive and go head-on with this enemy, we need military power. We need military power. And when you're a military leader, you have upper control or upper hand over the military. Please pardon the background noise. We've seen situations where the generals are working hand in hand with their president. They have also become puppets. Nobody is there to correct anybody anymore. Like what is going on with the government in Nigeria. We heard how the Sahel leaders accused Nigeria and their elite of destabilizing the continent of Africa. This is like accusing them of being a threat to the whole continent. And it's not just a baseless accusation. They have evidences. They have proofs about this whole situation and their dealings with bandits. Your Majesties. And these are the same bandits that the British government had been sponsoring from time immemorial. So tell me, these people are working hand in hand just to destroy Africa. What is the goal? What is the interest? To have upper hand in Africa and to still control our resources, Your Majesties. Anyway, like Abu Maponga has said from before, he said that, democracy is a small screen of lies. They come to you and tell that we're democratic, government for the people, by the people, we are here for you, we are your servants, we are your slave, kiniko, but behind closed doors, they are milking out what they need to milk out. They come out, some of the speeches that most of these leaders come to give, they are not the ones who write them. This is to tell you how far they are detached from the people that they are governing. They are not the ones who write these speeches. They come out, tell you sweet things, you are happy, and at the end, they are not the ones who are in control. And this is the time where we call on the youth of different countries in the motherland to stand up. This power is in your hand, and you have to show these leaders that the power is in your hand. If we don't do anything, nothing will happen, and we'll keep remaining in this corrupt system. Corrupt, rotten system that we are in, and we claim that we are in democracy. The Sahel is the only region that is free in the motherland because they have military leaders who have conscience, and that is why they are growing, and they will keep growing by day. What do you think? Leave your thoughts and opinion there at the section. I will see you in my next one. Until then, love yourself, love others, stay safe, stay positive always, Your Majesties. Bye for now.